the word nuclear. I feel like these are problems that are invented by people who don't have problems. These are people who's like, it's their job to complain about things, and it's their job to like have problems with things. And that's what they do. Hysteria comes from group weed hysteria, meaning uterus. Originally, it was believed hysteria and hysterical symptoms were caused by a defect in the womb. Thus, only women could become hysterical. Oh, I think that's probably true. I mean, it's just that, like, I think the reason why it, if like the word was still used that way, I think that people would be pretty reasonable, and they'd say like, yeah, of course this is like not really a good word to use, but like you like language evolves over time, and it evolves over years and with the culture. So the way that people used words, you know, 15 years ago or 30 years ago isn't the same way that people use words now. The word isn't, yeah, the word's not associated with that definition at all. No reasonable person thinks that whenever they hear the word. It has nothing to do with it. It just seems like it's another word that people are trying to create a stigma behind because they have no real problems in their life. They're looking for windmills to joust at and invisible problems to solve. And the worst part about it is that most people don't really care, like one way or another, right? But I think that they just let it happen because they don't really care. And I do think that it's, I've said this before, right, is that if you accommodate an unreasonable person, you too become unreasonable. I think that's kind of what happens here, is that people don't really care that much, and so this stuff just keeps getting more annoying and more reductive and more separated from common sense or critical thinking. What if your understanding of reasonable is flawed, though? Well, that's the thing, and that's always going to be the like I obviously, like, I think that I'm reasonable. I mean, that would make sense, right? And I think that if you asked, like, let's say 1,000 people, do you think this word is problematic fundamentally? I assume that probably 1,000 of them would say no. Like, there wouldn't even be one person. Some may respond differently given the history of the word. I don't think that people want to live their lives around the context of something that happened 200 years ago. I don't like this idea that the way that people lived 200 years ago and the social norms that occurred 200 years ago is should be, you know, adhered to now. It's ridiculous. Just more than 100 years ago instead. Here's one way to look past it, right? In terms of like culture, etc. Is that if everybody who used the word in that way is dead, you should probably look at it differently. And nobody who uses it is alive that way, then that's it. That's all, yeah. Okay, there's one of them at least. Get anything? Actual illness on WoW team. Yeah, it's disappointing to see people that are so disconnected from reality making decisions for a game. And still call women hysteric in quarrels. They call them crazy, and other people call men hysterical too. I think that the word has been completely disconnected from a sexist usage. At the end of the day, who gives a fuck? I think that a lot of people have a right to care about something like that because it goes to show a focus and it goes to show a priority. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I do care about stuff like that because it goes to show that there will be a lot of topics and types of content in the game that we'll never see because they could offend somebody's sensibilities that are completely unreasonable. Or sorry, sensitivities that are completely unreasonable. Yeah, I don't want to have my media dictated to me by somebody who thinks that this word is a problem. Yeah, I really don't like that stuff at all. I think it's ridiculous. Oh shit, I didn't see that one. Frustrating, there's like nothing we can do. Well, the thing is that there are a lot of games. The good thing now is that AAA publishers like that, if they do stuff like that enough, people will just simply stop playing their games. That's all there is to it. Because I do think that there are a lot of gamers that just, that they feel the exact same way that I do. They think this is just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's outrageous that anybody would even consider this a problem. And you're right that it's not a big deal, but I think that it's like a miner's canary, where the people that think this is a problem are also people they're going to think a dozen other things are also a problem. And it goes to show an indication of focus and also like their mindset. Renaming enslaved demon to subjugate demon. Every man for himself will survive. I don't mind that because the every man for himself didn't make sense. Like, it actually just didn't make sense. But yeah, like subjugate demon versus enslaved demon, like this is just, this is not the workings of a sound mind. What's this here? Oh, I'm not gonna do that. These people are vocal minority, they always get their way, it doesn't make any sense. The reason why it doesn't make any sense, and the reason why they always get their way, is because people that are reasonable don't care either way. So the people that are super vitriolic and outspoken about problems like this slowly just kind of edge things more towards them because an average person doesn't care. But the thing is that, like, an average person doesn't care, but I think that they should. I absolutely think that they should. Oh, no, chance to spell, game's run. Well, that's the way that people view it, right? Whereas, like, the way that I see it as unreasonable, neurotic people with no common sense are making decisions for the game. And that's what I think that people that think like this are. They're unreasonable, neurotic, crazy people. That shouldn't be taken seriously at all. And to the extent that you downplay it or anything, all you're doing is enabling their behavior. Is the symptom a bigger problem? Yeah, I think so. Promise if you're against any of it, you're considered a bigot. Well, the reason why is because average people just don't care and don't want to be involved in it at all. But I think it's an element of boiling a frog, where, like, now we're in a world where the word hysteria is problematic and it needs to be removed or changed from the game. You see what I'm saying? So, like, a lot of things that are changes are, like, generally good decisions, and they're, like, not really that bad. Like things like like some of the name changes they did and, like, jokes they did in the game. Like, some of the jokes were, like, really kind of weird. Like 90% of them were fine, but, like, some 10% were actually, like, pretty weird. What the hell is this? Inside Divines? Do I not have this? I thought I did. Well, no, it's... I wonder why it's not showing up. There it is. Oh. Frenzy is problematic. Animals are assaulted all the time. Well, I find that, like, I mean, I don't really care about the, like, if an animal gets offended by a word, that doesn't really seem like it's a problem to me. But you never know. Way to downplay people, creating boxes, people stigmatize opponents. Uncomfortable, don't go to the dark side. I hope you stop condemning people. I don't know what you're talking about, but, like, I will state this very clearly. I think that somebody who has a problem with the word hysteria and thinks that this needs to be changed or removed from the game is hysterical. I think that anybody who thinks that is neurotic. They are completely disconnected from reality. They have no idea what they're talking about. They do not even understand 99% of what average people think. And they are asserting an agenda and an ideology that is not reflective at all with the public. And I think people completely resent it. I am one of them. And I'm not sorry. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous we're even having this conversation. Just because somebody has a problem with something doesn't mean the thing has to change. Sometimes people have problems with things and they're just fucking stupid. It's like we're being dictated by 8-year-olds? Yeah, exactly. They'll just demand more and more. Of course they will. Because that's what they do. Fuck. Yeah, I'm firing them all out. That's agree it's not worth changing. I think it's also not worth caring about whenever they do. I think that it is. Again, I think that it's an indicator that this is the focus of the company. Yeah, this is something that they're doing. This is something that they think was a problem. I absolutely think it's something that's it's stupid, and it should be called out for being stupid. So I could rant about ability for an hour, renaming Kata. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm surprised that, and this is what people do, right? And this is what a normal person does, is that a normal person doesn't really have a problem that, you know, they change the name, and it's not really, like, it doesn't functionally matter at all. But, like, you do stuff like that for 10 years, and the next thing you know, you have to sign a social contract because the employees of the company can't stop touching each other. I don't like it. I resent it. I think it's ridiculous. I think that any time the person is unreasonable, you should never, ever, ever accommodate them. You should never accommodate a person who wants something that is unreasonable. Because if you do that, it will never stop. Have you ever had somebody who is, like, abusive, or somebody who is like controlling or manipulative? And the moment that you let them get anything through the cracks, then they start doing more stuff. There's never an end to this, because this is what they do. Give them an inch, they take a mile. How do you determine what's unreasonable? Well, it's a judgment call. I think that's really what it comes down to, is that it's a judgment call. And obviously, like, there's no 10 commandments on what is and isn't reasonable. You're right. There are people that don't have a problem with it, and they don't really care. But I think that, and if you, like, basically, like, if you approached an average person and you asked them if this is a problem, I think that they would all say no. So what does that mean? That means that the people that make decisions for the game are disconnected from what an average person wants, and they are trying to put forward a viewpoint or a worldview that is not reflective at all of their player base, of the average population, or of anyone. These are people that are constantly offended, trying to tone police the entire world and tell everybody else how they should live their life. There will never be enough for them. There will never be like, okay, now we're happy. There's always something else. There's always something more. And then at a certain point, criticizing them at a fundamental level is seen as one of the infractions as well. Just by asking questions or saying that you disagree, this is also bad. Microaggression, yeah. I'm gonna do like one more lap. I'm gonna get some other shit done. Oh, it's this guy. I've gotta go kill him. Well, that'd be enough. It's a waste of resources. Changing the game every time says something that's offensive. Yeah. Tell him to play Sombrero off Max Mario and people are mad as fuck. Love Sombreros. There's nothing that like middle class white people love doing more than telling minorities what they should be offended by. It is outrageous. I see this constantly. I've had so many friends tell me the same thing. Fence is taken, not given. People endure and whenever they do this. I think that it's reasonable whenever somebody is doing something rude. Or if it's like, I think that a lot of it comes out to do with like intent. It's like a reasonable average person is not going to think or come to this conclusion. So in that way, it's not a bad thing. Like, if somebody does something that, like, affects me negatively, and I feel like they didn't really do it on purpose, I'm not really going to be, like, very angry at them. Because it's just like, you know, mistakes happen. But if somebody does something on purpose, then, yeah, of course I'd be more upset. Give me the. Actually, I need transmog off this boss. I already have the mount. Never mind. Yeah, I just figure I try and kill this guy whenever I can. Latinx is the funniest shit. Can't even say it in Spanish. I think most of the people that say the word Latinx can't speak Spanish. Like, usually what I call people, like anybody like that, I just call them Hispanic. Like, over here in Texas, like, most people just say Mexican. I usually don't do Mexican. If somebody says they are Mexican, then it's like, well, okay, then you're Mexican, right? But, like, my default is Hispanic. The reason why is that it's like, you're not a Mexican, you're an American, you're here in America. And I don't, like, that's, yeah, I think that's, like, it's like an othering thing, right? It's divisive. It could be. Because it's like somebody who, like, some guy, you know, Eric Gonzalez, fucking, his dad, you know, was born here in America. He was born here in America. Like, if you want to call yourself Mexican for your heritage, that's fine, I'll say that, but I mean, I wouldn't, like, for me, like, that's the country that they grew up in, and so that's what I would call them. I think that's the best thing to do. It's the second best thing to do. The best thing to do is just call people what they ask to be called, right? Or what they call themselves. Shouldn't be lecturing people on what they should be called, just saying, dude. Well, I'm not lecturing people on what they should be called. I think that what about my logic do you think is wrong? Yeah, what foundation of this is wrong? Lecturing? I'm not telling anybody what that's literally not what I said. I never said that. I explicitly said the opposite. It's like saying Asian to Asians instead of Chinese. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. Anyway, conversation like adults. Yeah, I mean, this is, I understand this can be upsetting for some people, but most normal people can handle a conversation like this. Persistent as brain dead? No, it's not that. They're, you know, they're referring to me as a white person, right? And so, like, not as an individual or assessing my thoughts at all. They're just kind of reducing my opinion down to an outcome of my race and then discarding it because of that. And so, like, I think that a lot of people are trained to do that by, like, the media and by different people, especially on, like, Twitter. And I think it's stupid. It's like nobody's going to agree with you or be on your side if you act like that. You have stereotypes of an individual person? Yeah, exactly. Would you possibly know minority issues if you haven't experienced them? Well, I didn't say that wait, when did I even ever say this was an issue? I never said it was an issue at all. You'll get mad at something you didn't even say. Yeah, it's sad. I think that there's some validity to saying that, like, you know, it's harder to understand something if you're not part of it. And like you're probably right to an extent, but like that wasn't even what I was saying. Like like the person they took what I said into, like, they just ignored what I said and they turned it into something else. Yeah, deliberately misunderstanding, yeah. Did you guys finish the block balls? Yeah, dude, we cleared the whole thing. We cleared it last night. It was pretty easy. Put on culture and stuff like that. Well, I don't know. I think that, like, really is that, I think that all conversations and like everything, whether this is like a race or like a gender or a, you know, anything issue, what I think like 90% of it comes down to, probably 99% of it, is just don't treat people like shit and try to treat other people with dignity and respect. And if you just do that and treat people like people, that solves like 99% of problems. Because even somebody who says something or uses the wrong term referring to a minority or something like that, not like the N word, right? But I'm just saying, like, something that's like an antiquated word. Like, if this person is not hostile or whatever, I've never seen somebody get mad about that legitimately because the person didn't mean it. Like, maybe they say, hey, I don't like that or whatever, and then if you say that, another average person would just be like, oh, my bad, I didn't know that, sorry. Like, that's it. Like, that's the way that a normal person thinks. I just don't care if you call them Latinos. No, not really. I don't think so. I mean, that's why you just dehumanize people? Yeah, exactly. Don't forget, young people are straight up being indoctrinated with this mindset going to college. It doesn't matter. People should have the people are accountable for their own mind. Just because somebody tells you something doesn't mean you should believe it. If you're just getting indoctrinated by something, then, you know, maybe that's like a problem with you. So it's getting a drink. No, adopting a regional system we're born into. Start living life that way. I think that people should learn to think for themselves and question even the systems that they're a part of. I think that a lot of people do. That's why you see so much social change in general. Yeah, I think that's true. Like, most people question, like, you know, like all kinds of systems, including the ones that they're in. Okay, Curian Assault, I think I did that one. Let me check a few things. See if this thing is up. Oh, I missed that one. That's too bad. See, it's this. I need to do this one. It's just the drop rate for that mount is so low. There's so many opinions, every single thing that exists can be overwhelming for someone younger. They're not taught to compare sides. Well, I think that not only are you not taught to compare sides, but I think that a lot of people are taught that if you even indulge the idea that what you hear and what you're told is not true, you're like a terrible person. So it's not as simple as just like, oh, you know, it's like, oh, you just don't hear sides. No, it's like the people that don't believe something like that are just like bad people. Fuck, when is this gonna drop? But anyway, I don't know, we talked about that forever. Who gives a fuck? Like, I just... I think that people, I think it's completely fair for people to dislike stuff like that, changes like that, and like even like minor changes that they just shouldn't even be considered or taken seriously at all. Toy from Forge Tap achievement? Yeah, well, I'll do some achievements. Actually, let me finish this. I'm 98%. Holy fuck. I'll get 2 more. You ever care about getting glad this season? I can't. Like, I mean, there's nobody. Like, I don't have anybody to play with. The alpha not being out is worrying? Yeah, a little bit. I'm 2100 unique point. Yeah, I got 2.1k. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get 2.4k, man. Like, it fucking sucks. Crystal containment trap. Do I have that with me? No, I don't. I'm gonna go get it. Have you asked anyone though? No, I haven't. I mean, I feel like they'll, you know, like they'll let us know whenever it's time to let us know. Okay, I'm not ready for that one yet. Overwatch 2 is going to be filled with some payment bullshit now that doing free to play. As long as it's optional and people can play the game without doing it, then it's fine. Yeah, as I said, I think that people are way too hostile about Overwatch 2. I feel like people are being unreasonable about it. Did I pay $60 to be able to earn it all in game? Now they're gonna charge $60 for a skin. Yeah, but like, I mean, is it better? The thing is, like, that might be a better payment model for you, but I think making a game free to play with skins is probably better than making it buy to play. I mean, I know you might not agree with that or like that, and to be honest with you, I don't really like it either, but it's just probably... I'll get an achievement for this, right? I complete everything? Yeah, that's what I thought. Nice. Okay, so we got that one done. Treasures of Zackrawrr Mortis. Containment trap. Alright, I'm gonna use this and just complete this achievement. This one's a fucking dog shit ass achievement. How do you track these different things? Like, track the coordinates on them? You don't? Oh, there should be a way to do it. There it is. Okay, it's alt right click. Got it. Okay, we'll just do all these. Nice and relaxing content. And some viewers don't show whenever it'll be ready. Some people be crying. I mean, I don't know why you're defending it that much. Like, I don't think that it's unreasonable for people to be concerned. Like, I mean, you literally have like 15 years to go off of like, of what to look at. Yeah, it's just a game. Yeah, it's just a game. I mean, like, yeah, there's no reason really to defend it or anything. Like, it's just, it is what it is. Bygone Geomental. Well, where the fuck is it? There's Forgotten Geomental. Overgrown Geomental. But no Bygone Geomental. Can you guys invite me if you're in Zackrawrr Mortis? Yeah, if you don't mind, like, there's multiple spawn locations. These are so annoying. I really don't like the birds. They just keep you in combat for no reason and they're annoying. Maybe I'll just look around. I mean, I don't know. It could be one in this area, right? So what I'm kind of assuming is that there's some form of like replacement spawn where like every single time that an overgrown geomental dies, there's a chance that a bygone one will respawn. Is it something like that? It's just like, what is this? Like, why? Just so annoying. I wouldn't mind it as much, but they keep you in combat for so long. Fuck. Yeah, if somebody can invite me, maybe I'll try to join like a group for the raid. There's another bird, man. There's a stealth guy. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll just do one at a time, man. So I'm thinking I might join like world boss groups to realm hop. I think that might be the best idea. Spam/target. I mean, does it really matter? If he's there, you'll know. Okay. I could just go and look for another one. Like, what if I go and just look for another one? Let me try this one. This guy is right here. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. Okay, so like, is that... Oh, I have to click it, right? Research data collected, and so like now it's done, right? Thanks a lot. If your server is dead, can I just stay on the server? Thanks, man. What new MMO is releasing next? I think the next thing that we'll probably hear from is... that's actually a good question. I think we could have one of those like Asian MMOs. Like that Tower of Fantasy or something like that, maybe. Riot MMO? I don't think that we're going to see a Riot MMO. I think there's a good chance we could maybe see like the Ashes Alpha or something like that. Moss Choked Guardian. I was told that there would be... the other one would be easier. I guess I'll just kill this thing right now while I wait for it. Dennis achieved. I have an idea where they all are. So excited for Ashes, man. Yeah, it looks pretty good. New World remake. I mean, I don't think they need to remake the game. I think that they need to, like, I don't know what they need to do. Like, an expansion, yeah. Like, for example, with like Lost Ark, I think Lost Ark's progression is like really good because you go from like doing one type of content to another type of content. And I think games that have like nice games that have content that's fundamentally just like, okay, you're gonna go and just do the exact same thing. I find that to be a problem. I think it's super boring, man. I don't think this one's up. Okay. I'll drop group and just like re-invite me in a minute if it's not up. Talking about the hate gang over green. The fact is that I think a lot of people in like, this is what I've always said, right? Is that there are always going to be people that are mad or like unhappy that I'm doing. Yeah, can somebody else invite me in Zereth Mortis? I don't think this this didn't phase me over. Yeah, if anybody can, like Asmongold and Kalthazad. People are always going to get mad about stuff that I do, but I think that like my actual audience that you know, watches my content, they thought it was funny and they liked it a lot. So I think at the end of the day, like that's really what matters. Like it doesn't really matter what like a small group of people that don't watch your content anyway think. Is it disappointing whenever you get hate for something? Yeah, sure. But it's also just, that's life. Fuck, man, where is it? It's on me. Fuck, it was in the wrong spot. Okay. Gotcha, bitch. Thank you, man. GG, easy GG. Thank you very much. You'll take stuff way too serious. Yeah, the thing is, like, I've said this 100 times at this point. I don't want people to like shit on me, and I hate it, but I don't hate it enough to change what I'm doing. So if people are getting mad at me for something, just know that you're yelling at a wall. Gorged Rune Feaster. Fuck, it's not over here either. Is it over here? Yeah, this, thank you, man. Strive that mentality. Well, it's hard, right? It's hard because like you, like a lot of people that stream, thank you very much, man. Thank you so much. A lot of people who stream, the reason why they like to stream is because they like to make people happy and they enjoy it and it's fun for them. And so whenever you're getting shit on for that, like it can really suck for sure. But again, you just have to deal with it. Yeah, and like you have to know, like, I think a big problem is like a lack of confidence. And people don't really feel confident about what they're doing or anything like that. And I think that it causes them to not really, where is it? Oh my god, is there another one that's not here? Oh, there he is, I'm dumb. Yeah, I knew that. Thank you. Shit. Yeah, it's important to like sometimes hear what other people think about things, but it's not always important to listen. can spawn in place of a dominated laborer. $48.47. Oh, I see. Oh, I get it. And it's a dominated irregular. Okay. Man, whenever you don't comply, not because it genuinely upsets them, but rather that you won't submit. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who, you know, people online, like one of the things that people like to do online is to get together and try to force people into doing what they want. So like whenever somebody won't bend to their will, then yeah, it makes them mad. I think that's absolutely true. What the fuck? They weren't fighting him before. I feel like I didn't even get phased over. What the fuck? Okay, this guy says he's annoying. I'm just gonna take this invite. Is this one up? Yeah, it is. Let me just go do this one real quick. Yeah, having this add-on really helps out a lot. Okay, I'm on my way over. The fuck are you? Being an attempt to any more interviews. Like crews. I mean, the thing is, like, as I said, simulate Ludwig's Falkers when viewers should shut them down. Yeah, it just despawned. Oh, that's the way it goes. Don't worry about it. We'll get it eventually. What is this guy here? Defective protector? Is this it? No, it's not. There's always going to be people that that don't like what I'm doing or think that I'm doing it wrong or whatever. It's not really a big deal. It's on the same subject 2 weeks now. There's been a lot of people recently who have been really unhappy about the fact that I haven't been doing the kind of content that they want. And I think people have gotten the wrong idea about my streams. And so I've gotten a lot of people like just going absolutely ape shit. That I'm not doing something and I'm doing something else. And it's yeah, it's like fuck them. That's the thing is I that's exactly what I say. You can kill the laborers if chance to spawn. Yeah, it's just like, is it worth killing them or is it worth just like taking a lap around? I feel like it's probably worth killing them because like the odds are nobody's going to be killing these unless they're trying to spawn this thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, you should probably just do that. What if there's reading bad at the criticism? So 3 populations. What if you're bad at reading a criticism? Well, it's not that I'm bad at reading it, it's that I disagree with it. And a lot of people recently in my community have not liked the fact that no matter how hard they cry and no matter how mad they get, I won't do what they want me to do. I think this is like a very upsetting thing for like viewers of streams because they're used to crying and acting like babies and then eventually getting the streamer to do what they want or to submit to them, and I'm not going to do that. Isn't it a vocal minority? Yeah, it is, but they're very vocal, and so that's why it's hard to ignore. What's thin-skinned bitch on a platform? Well, the thing is, like, if you think that I'm thin-skinned and I'm a bitch and everything, like, it's still my right to be thin-skinned and be a bitch, right? So, like, if you think that's true, like, why is this a problem for you? You see what I'm saying? So, like, even if you, like, why is this something that's a problem that's even an issue for you? That's right, be a thin-skinned bitch, yeah. Like, so what if I don't want to have people that say rude things to me? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's people, again, like, I think that people are just, like, having an absolute fucking aneurysm at the idea that you can't complain and cry and just get what you want. And you can't just, like, be obnoxious and rude to people and have them indulge you. Because that's really what I think it is. Yeah, hysteria? Yeah, true. Yeah, it's like, I can be thin-skinned if I want to be. I mean, that's what I find to be so weird about, like, that criticism. Is like, it's not like it's against the law to do that, and like, if I don't like something, then why is it not my right to remove it from my life? From being considered soft, letting other people talk you down, considered soft, and if you don't let them. Well, the thing is, like, being soft isn't necessarily a bad thing. If somebody doesn't want to be treated a certain way or talked to a certain way, then that's their prerogative to live their life in that way. I think people care a lot about, like, being able to do what they want until it involves letting other people do what they want. But what I'm saying is, like, even if somebody is being soft or whatever, it's their own platform. It's their own stream. complain about it, it's not taking consideration. No, I don't at all. This have to be every human nature of being a public figure. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, it's always come in waves. Like, every single time that I've changed my content, like, for example, whenever I stopped, like, just playing WoW super seriously, and I did, like, more viewer events, and I focused more on making the stream entertaining rather than playing the game, I had a lot of people who were angry at me, and they were, like, pissed off, and I had a lot of those, like, older viewers that are mad about that. And then as time went on, they left the stream, or they either accepted it or they left. And then after time, then that happened. Most left, sadly. Well, I don't say sadly at all. I think that's good. I don't like them. Like, anybody that acts that way towards me, I don't like them. And so then whenever I did like variety streaming, and like everybody was like shitting on me whenever I was playing Dark Souls, like I really didn't like that. Like I don't find it like fun to like have a bunch of people telling me like how shitty I am, and like I'm bad, and like making fun of me the whole time. Like that's not enjoyable to me. So don't E-Rob treatment? I don't blame you. Well, it's like, I mean, everybody can do their stream the way that they want to do their stream, right? I mean, like, I don't care. I love E-Rob's stream. I think he's funny. But like I just don't want to have that type of community. And so, then after I did that, like the Dark Souls streams were like really bad, and then doing variety streaming was like even worse, like beyond that. And it was probably like one of the worst times I had dealt with streaming. And then I pretty much just quit all of that and just went back to playing WoW. And then Classic WoW came out, and then I had people that got mad at me for playing Classic WoW instead of playing like other games that were variety, or people that got mad at me for not playing retail WoW. But I would say like the general sentiment at that point was like people were happy I was playing Classic WoW, so there was like relatively little pushback. And then I played Classic WoW for a while, and I wanted to like move away from it for a lot of reasons. The main reason wasn't even like toxicity, it was just the fact that like the content was boring and there was nothing really to do in the game except for like create more fake drama. Do you miss a lot? Yeah, I do. So like then I moved away from where the hell is he? Is he in there? Despawned again? Oh, that's crazy. I wonder what happens. But like, yeah, whenever I went from streaming Classic WoW to streaming like retail again, that was also really bad. It was like super hard to transition away from streaming Classic to streaming retail because of like how much like Classic players hated our retail WoW. And so like, yeah, I got really really shit on by that, and like that sucked. And so like then after that I did Final Fantasy, and like there were a lot of people that were WoW fans that were like, I'm not gonna watch you anymore, like we don't like you, like you're fucking, like you're like a weird like furry now or something like that. And like there were unironic people that thought that. And like now, since I've done variety again, there have been more people who were basically saying that, like, equivalent of the same thing. So I'm not trolling. No, I know you're not trolling. Change it. Okay, I did that one. Yeah. Retail Andes are just as fucking miserable. Well, I mean, they are now, right? But it's like back then it was like pretty much all classic Andes. So like this is like round 5 for me. that's the moral of the story here, is that this is not some kind of like crazy new fucking thing, like, oh my god, wow, I can't believe this is happening. This has happened so many times. Yeah, it's happened so many times, and like the truth is that every single time that I've gone through one of these evolutions, my stream has come out better on the other side. Like, that's just a fact. Like, on my YouTube channel, my stream, and like everything has come out and like better every single time. And so like new wave of negativity recently, all the people just instant perma, don't even think about it. So people watching for you, not specific content. Yeah, I feel like my stream has grown substantially recently, because like I never thought I would be able to like hold as many people as I do, just like watching me play something like Fortnite or Fall Guys or something like that. Like I'm like so lucky that so many people would want to watch something like that. It's just crazy to me. From the Depp trial, yeah, and the Johnny Depp trial went so well, and everybody wanted to watch me do that, and I mean that was really cool. And so like it's really hard to take chances and to do different things and to try to move past what you've done before. But you either do that or you're just gonna be stagnant and you're never gonna go anywhere. And so like basically, you know what I always say about like how I don't like gambling unless there's a lot on the line? Like basically, unless you can die, then the gamble just isn't entertaining for me. It's not exciting. Well, that's kind of the same way that I look at this, is that I'm taking a huge risk, and every single time I take a huge risk whenever I do something like this, like a massive, tremendous risk, and I do it willingly. I think that's, and I understand that it's a huge risk to go and do anything different and everything like that. Like I find it to be, what's this here? Oh, where are we going? Oh, it's this one. Thank you. I'll head over here. You could take a steak sponsor, probably better. Yeah, I could take a sponsor from steak for sure. It's just not really something I'm just not really interested in gambling, to be honest. Gotcha, bitch. Like, not gambling on that level. Like, for me, I like to have, I like to gamble on things where you have some degree of control over it. Because, like, to me, like, slots isn't really a very fun gamble because you have no control over the outcome. I find it fun to watch, but it's just not something that I would do. What about poker? I just don't, I don't really never got into it. Like a different one. Yeah, I'm just kind of, I'm like lapping around looking for the chests, and I just check every single time and kill all the mobs. And that way I'm kind of like, you know, killing two birds with one stone. What makes it a gamble, not having individual control? It's about the risk. I think that's really what it's about, more than, you know, you could say a quote gamble. It's about the risk. Try realm hopping with the world boss? Yeah, it's just not that much. Wait, did I? Oh shit, I wasn't even paying attention. Okay, yeah, those guys are bad. I'm just gonna kill these. Because, like, I feel like if it's an irregular one, they're probably just, like, not even gonna be there at all. If you're not killing them and waiting for the respawns. I'm on my way over. Where is it? Okay, I'll head, I'm on my way as fast as I can be. Just despawned again. Maybe it's because you inviting me. I don't know. Let me check over here. But yeah, I think that it won't be, I don't think this is like a saga that will be over in like maybe you know, a week or so. I think this will take kind of a while for people to like acclimate to the new way of you know, me doing my streams, etc. And you'll always lose people in translation and, you know, gain others instead. And I think that's what happens with, like, with anyone. It's a new way of doing streams. Playing what I want, doing what I want, talking about more diverse issues, bringing people on, interviewing them the same as I did, covering content that's, like, outside of gaming, etc. Yeah, that's kind of what... That's kind of like, that's what I've been doing. Like, basically what I've been doing ever since I came back to streaming. Yeah, it's like, this has been... Yeah, it's been something I was doing a lot. Or not really a lot, but like I was starting to do more of, and well, new interviews, yeah, I think they're fun. And it's like there's always going to be growing pains with everything. And if you're afraid of that, you're never going to grow, I think. And it's like there's a lot of people, like, you have to keep in mind, there's a lot of people who they don't want to grow. They're like, let's say they're happy just doing what they do, and I think that's great. Yeah, I think that's great. I think that, you know, if you're happy and you're doing what you want to do, and you know, like, you're not living in anguish, you're not mad at yourself or mad at the world or for anything like that. You're just doing what you want to do. I think that's a great thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, nobody has like an obligation to be whatever you consider to be a better version of themselves. The only thing that people have an obligation to be is themselves. So like, I don't think that like anybody is like lesser for like not trying to, you know, do different stuff, right? Like, try to like evolve their content in the same way that I do. Like, I take a lot of risks, and some of them pay off and some of them don't. And if you do anything, that's just what's going to happen. It was the same thing with OTK. OTK was a really big risk, and you just do it. What does my Pokepock look like? I don't even know. There, it looks like that. Is this fucking default skin? Joining farming? I mean, I'm just trying to get this shit done. I'm trying to get like invites, that's why, into the other realms. Okay, I killed all these and it's not up, so I'm gonna go do some more rotations. Where's the risk with OTK? Where's the risk with starting a new gaming org? I mean, like, or content org, I mean, let's be honest, right? That's a tremendous risk. I mean, it's huge. Like, I turned down like millions of dollars to do OTK instead. In terms of like sponsorships and, you know, joining another org or anything like that. Yeah, it's massive. Phantom? No, I think that, you know, that I don't feel like that question was bad. It's okay. OTK was a better decision. I hope so. Yeah, I don't think he was trying to be an asshole. Exactly, yeah. Let's ask question, general call for ban. There's just a lot of people that were being hostile, that's all. Was the OTK Game Fest a success in your books? Yeah, I think it was, but I think it could be a much bigger success. I think that we learned a lot doing it, and going into next year, there's a lot of feedback and like criticism that people gave to the event that I think was really constructive and useful, and we're going to incorporate that. So like, for example, we're going to make it shorter. We're probably going to have a different way of presenting the games. We'll probably have like other ways to like involve the chat and things like that. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that like we learned a lot from. I didn't like Mizkif shilling his game in the middle of it. Well, why didn't you like it? Yeah, what's wrong with that? Like, Mizkif's my friend, and yeah, of course I want to promote my friend's game. Yeah, I mean, like, there's no hiding it. Like, yeah, we didn't even consider like obviously I think the game looked pretty good, right? It looked like a playable state, and it looked decent enough, right, to play it. But like, yeah, of course I did it because he's my friend. Absolutely. It wasn't even a question. Would you guys want an audience? I think so, yeah. I mean, it would be nice to have that. That'd be cool. A good friend. I try to be. I mean, it's a bit awkward. The Smite stuff is understandable. I think that some of that also is like probably a mix of just like different kinds of humor, etc. Missouri has a huge platform to promote its own game. The expo should be for devs that don't have the amount of influence. Well, like, what do you mean by should? Like, what? And like, this is kind of like what I'm saying, right? Like, what do you mean the expo should be? Like, no, I don't want the expo to. Should, like, we're the ones that do the expo. Like, of course I'm gonna help out my friend. Like, the expo should be. It shouldn't be anything. I mean, it should be what we want it to be because it's our expo. It's our event. Like, I don't understand that. Like, it's also not like the event has any sort of like real, like, it was the first time that we did the event. So it's not like there was a precedent that we broke for Mizkif. I don't understand that at all. I'm surprised you guys got replay. I guess from Rich. Yeah. My 2 cents. Understand if you want to help out a friend. Yeah, that's the thing is like, I in general just want to move away from, and like this isn't anything about you personally, right? But I want to move away from creating content for people that think that I should do that or I should not do that. And I want to have, you know, just like make content for people that are there to watch it for entertainment and that enjoy it. And, you know, don't try to turn it into a platform for me to reinforce like what they think should and should not be. It's exhausting to do it. Social to standards, is there any remotely charitable intent to it? You could never bring any form of bias into it, so weird. Well, there's always going to be bias in any sort of a show. Like, there's going to be the different people that like the games in different ways, and I don't know. I think that, yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? That, like, people are going to like the show in different ways, and, like, I want to go and do something that I think is a good idea in a way that I think is good. And there's always going to be people that think you should do it differently, right? You know, anything. Like, I'm sure there's people that, like, tell Jeff Keighley that he's, like, an asshole or something because he's not featuring enough what they consider to be indie games. You know, they think that he should have, like, a responsibility to feature more indie games, and he doesn't do that, and they're mad at him for it. Jeff's great. Jeff is great. But, like, that's what I mean. Argument about the prize fund being rigged if Mizkif won it. Showing his game as an issue. Yeah, I absolutely think it'd be rigged if Mizkif won it. 100% fucking agree with you on that. Totally fucking agree. What's your opinion on TimeGate for protoform synthesis? I don't really know a lot about it. Like, I've just been farming it casually, so I guess the TimeGate didn't really affect me. I should actually do the fucking FAMU. There it is. I hate this fucking game. Shit. Please don't. Okay. Good shit. For sure, bro. Thanks. It's too bad we killed him. I fucking despawned this thing. Facing his ass? Yeah, apparently. Growling Dorky bunny and push keys with him? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that, dude. I don't know. Maybe one day. Okay. Let me go over and do FAMU. Some indies fail. Well, that most indies fail. I mean, there's a lot of indie games that just aren't very good. I mean, like, there's that factor. You know, development is a problem, and like being able to develop content in the speed that people want to see it is definitely an issue. Seen Mini Healer? No, I haven't. What's Mini Healer? Healing simulator, basically? Oh, fuck that. Yeah. We'll eventually tune into more indies. The AAA stuff is already going weird places, monetization, open and traded companies. I think that the truth is that the barrier to entry for... There's like two huge things. So like the first huge thing is the fact that it's up for sure. Alright, let's get it. The first huge thing is the fact that it costs probably less money now, and the accessibility for being able to develop a game is much smaller. So, for example, there we go. So, for example, being able to code something in Unreal or Unity or something like that is probably a lot easier than it was to make a Super Nintendo game back in 1995. Also, so production, like creating a game, is much easier. And an even bigger thing is distribution. You can distribute your game worldwide with basically no with like no restrictions on Steam or the Epic Store or something like that. Now you have to pay them, but that's the same with anything. You can distribute your product worldwide with almost no real restrictions. That is insane. Like, you really think about how fucking insane that is. So just can't have loot boxes? Well, yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but like everything else. And so like basically the one thing that like a lot of these like game studios had over a smaller game developer is the fact that those two big things, right? Come on, come on. Oh, fuck. It is like, you know, they could produce a game and they could also market a game. Yeah, access to asset market. Yeah, you have pre-made assets, like things are more itemized. Yeah. So like 25 games released today on Steam to get noticed without some marketing. Well, yeah, you want to market your game and, you know, promote your game, etc. But like the thing is, you can go about promoting your game in a lot of different ways. And I think that like anybody who says that like, oh, well, we don't have a lot of money to promote, you know, to promote our game, there are a lot of people. There's somebody 6 months from now who you'll know their name, who was in the same position than you are, and they didn't think that. And that's why you know their name. It's the same thing with streamers. Doubt that very much. No, I don't at all. Vampire Survivors proves word of mouth is strong as fuck. Word of mouth is the strongest marketing there is. It's like there's money, mostly because they don't know how. I'm a university for game dev program. Yeah, I think that's probably true. Famu again. Let's do it. Famu this time for sure. 100%. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. So yeah, I mean, the marketing and things like that, they're like very, very powerful. Social media is very powerful. Yeah, exactly. People have defeatist, downtrodden personalities, can't imagine succeeding. I think that a lot of people say that about whatever situation they're in because it makes them feel better about not trying. Because if you know that, oh, well, I don't have these resources to get to where this other person's at, now I don't need to worry about it because, you know, it's like, it's set out to get me anyway, right? $20 hard, saying Diablo Immortal. I just spent 100k in a game. I'll watch that maybe in a day or so. Yeah, the first JT video was pretty funny. Speaking from survivor's bias, like, yeah, and there'll be somebody again. Like this is the truth, right? Is there'll be somebody in a year from now, a streamer. You don't know their name now, but you'll know it in a year. And the reason why you'll know their name is that they didn't think about survivorship bias or, you know, like why somebody else isn't giving them a shot. They took their own shot and they took things into their own hands and they're successful. 1,000 others failed regardless. There's 1,000 people that fail at 1,000 things. What does that have to do with you? That's true. Like there are people, like a lot of people fail. But if you don't try, you will fail for sure. It's an important part. Yeah, no, it's... And also, like, you shouldn't do something that you're not good at. So, like, for example, if you're not good at, if you're not good at sports, maybe you shouldn't try to play sports and become, you know, an NBA player. I think that, you know, you should do something. Yeah, I know you got it. There we go. Call it failure, I call it warning. Yeah, I've fucked up a lot of things. Play to your strengths. Yeah, play to your strengths. You know, focus and try really hard and try to learn what you're good at and what you're not good at and develop that as much as you can. And there's always going to be like a certain level of survivorship bias, but that doesn't mean that you can't be a survivor. Is that kind of obvious? Don't do what you're terrible at. No, it's not for a lot of people. Because a lot of people think that they have to do something that is like accepted by society, right? They have to, they're really good, you know, like they have to be really good at math or really good at, you know, science, or, you know, they want to be like a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. And maybe that's not what they're good at. Maybe they're just a really great musician. And so, like, be a great musician. That's something that you can be 1 in 1,000 in. I think that most people can be 1 in 1,000 at least something. Especially if they try hard enough. Crazy until it works and then you're a genius? Yeah. That's about right. Just change your mind, you'll consider streaming video games? It's not a binary decision. Truth is, most people are lazy. Yeah, true. It's also like being good at 2 different things is like, it's about trying to find like something that you know, finding a place in like the world or in whatever community you're part of, and figuring out like how you can fit in. I sure hope somebody actually kills this for me, because my damage sucks dick. Okay, get away from that. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of people who are resentful in a lot of ways, that they're not happy about, you know, society or whatever. But you still have to do like you have to do something for yourself. And I always have thought that like if you don't really kind of go out of your way to like help yourself, nobody else will. And I think that's generally true. What about use for laziness? Not work smarter, not harder? Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly like that. That's how I've planned out a lot of like achievements for WoW. Is like, how can I be as lazy as possible and get this done? Oh, absolutely. Incurred by Asmongold, biggest survivorship bias. I think that whenever you really think about it, like I did my YouTube channel, and my YouTube channel was very successful before my Twitch channel, and then I did streaming, and my stream was very successful as well. And then like my YouTube channel is doing well, and I've